joining us today, we have Everything Heifer, and of course that means June in Brattleboro, the annual Strolling of the Heifers. In fact, I'd like you to meet my harem. Cute, aren't they? And yes, we are closing in rapidly on the 10th annual Strolling of the Heifers. Yes, Soupy Sales got his start this way. In fact, ladies, I'll have to ask you to leave. We have an interview here. We have as our guests the founder of the Strolling of the Heifers. To my right, Orly Munzing. To her right, Jeff Newton, who's going to get the stroll into the Guinness Book of World Records. It's in many books and in many post offices, in pictures. And to my immediate left, Dee Dee Cummings, who has married heifers with bicycles only in Vermont. And to her left, Philip Snyder, who is handling the Slow Living Summit. Really, the stroll came at a time when we all needed to take a look at where our food comes from, where our money comes from, how do we make it, how do we spend it. Orly, you were a Renaissance lady way ahead of your time.
That's very true, but it wasn't just me. It was a whole team, and as you well know, the Strolling of the Heifers has taken a life of its own, and it wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for the very energetic group of volunteers that keeps growing year and year after year, and who donate endless amount of hours and time to the Strolling of the Heifers in an effort to support our local farmers.
And that leads me into where I'd like to go from here, because really, as we say, what has been growing exponentially in Vermont and elsewhere in the Northeast is the whole local agriculture movement. That brings me to the Slow Living Summit, which will start off this year's Stroll Weekend.
On Wednesday, June 1st.
That's right. And start off a new month by turning over a new leaf.
That's right.
Philip Snyder, your stroll debut with the Slow Living Summit.
Yeah, I'm strolled right up here.
I see that. So, who are we expecting to show up for speakers, and what are we going to learn that we might not have already known?
Well, we've got a pretty remarkable lineup of speakers, and coming from all over the place, but mainly the Northeast, and a whole set of session speakers. So we've got like over 30 people coming who are going to be giving talks. The best way to find out the list, rather than running through the names now, not all of which I'm remembering at the moment, is on the website. So go to Strolling of the Heifers, of course, and then from there on the left bar you'll find the summit, and it goes right into that, and you can find all the information there, including how to register. So why slow living? Or is that a question that's coming?
That is a question that's coming. I mean, of course, in my case, in my younger years, it was slow money. I'll give it to you when I have it.
Well, Slow Money is out there too, and they're going to be speaking, as will Slow Food. Josh Vertel, who's the president of Slow Food USA, will be there. The slow term really got into use by Carlo Petrini in Italy back in the late 80s as a response to the rapid growth of fast food multinational businesses in Europe, and his alarm at what was happening with the globalization of food and the denaturalization of the whole eating experience that was happening through this kind of movement in Europe. And it was a response. It was sort of like less fast, and more slow, more quality, more connection with community, more local, and really to reverence the process of food and agriculture and eating and the conviviality we have when we share food, break bread together. And that movement built out from his initial protest and became the slow food movement, which is all over the world now with chapters in many countries, including this one. And then out of that slow conception about a different way of approaching the world and how we're going to live, the Slow Money, Woody Tesh wrote the book, and then there has been now conferences, and a Slow Money has arisen. So it seemed a logical step to take the slow and build it out all the way, off the taproot of the stroll, which is based in food and agriculture, and in community, which are key to the whole thing, the whole way of revisioning how we're going to live together on planet Earth over the next millennia. We hope we're together and living and thriving well. But to do that, we got to change how we live. So the Stroll's about the Slow Living Summit's about gathering the people together who have been doing it, who want to learn more, who want to make connections, and go further.
Growing up, I was going to say, as an FFA boy, I was struck by the fact that how many people did not know where their food came from. And Orly has taken a good step in that direction by creating awareness about farms and about farmers. And now we have to take the next step, be able to back it up with our wallets.
To me, there are many speakers there who know a great deal more than I could ever understand. But to me, what is really going to help people understand is how do we live in an economy that is a common good economy versus a self-interest economy. Making money is really good, but let's invest it in our community. And how do you do that? So our conference, our summit, is the first summit to do that by bringing in all the experts. I like to say herding them into the barn and to talk about and to learn about it. And this is an interactive conference, and everybody is important. There are going to be farmers there, there are going to be bankers, there are going to be educators, there's going to be health professionals, there's going to be investors. I can keep going on. And the community and the general public is very welcome to come, and it's very important for everybody to come in and help us even better articulate what a common good economy is.
I like that a lot, and to further the analogy, you even have stocked the barn with hay. The opening of the Slow Living Summit will be the announcement of the winners of the Small Business Plan competition here in the Brattleboro area.
That's right. That's going to be Wednesday, June 1st. And the finalists and the winners will be announced on June 1st at 1 o'clock at Marlborough College. We're very excited about that. And we partnered with BDCC that has been doing the business plan competition. But what we have noticed is that the farm food sector couldn't really compete against the traditional business plan. So that the Strolling of the Heifers, with the money that we raised from our Farm Food Giving Fund, the concerts and the parade and the sponsorships, we were able to raise $30,000, and that is the prize money of businesses who have applied. And I'm not a judge, but I listened to the ones that have submitted their business plan, and it is amazing the entrepreneurship that's in our community. And we did receive a Merck fund to take this farm food business plan competition and implement it in central and northern Vermont, which we'll be doing the following week after the stroll. We're starting to work with central and northern Vermont. So this is a new concept. It brings out a lot of creativity and a lot of wonderful people. The interesting piece to this is that we have invited investors to come and listen to the finalists. And who knows what can happen from that. So not only are they going to get prize money, but there are investors there, and they're getting a lot of support, how to write a business plan, an executive summary. There's been a lot of seminars that BDCC has been working with us on this. It's just been an amazing, amazing process for me personally to see how much volunteers go into making such a thing happen. The judges are all volunteers, and there's so many other people helping with that as well.
It really is good to see all of this coming together in an era where I've seen farmers have to apologize, where one of them got their byproduct on the front end of a BMW. Now people are going out of their way to shop locally, buy locally, and support the people who've been putting food on their table.
And this is about doing something different. It's about having resilience built from the ground up. And New England is the perfect place for this. And so much is going on and has been going on the last 30 and more years, to both in food and farm worlds, some of which we're well familiar with, but in all the other sectors too, to really start to create a resilient, durable way of living that makes sense with each other, with the planet, and is respectful and fair.
I'm often struck how many things I buy that may not be available locally, either 12 months of the year or at all. When was the last time you found bananas in southern Vermont, even though we are called the Banana Belt?
Well, you can live that way, and Bill McKibben did a year of buying locally and eating locally, and it changed your diet. And
he's one of the speakers.
And he is one of the speakers. He's the EndNote speaker. In fact, he's going to sum it all up about what it looks like, and he's a perfect person to be doing that. Or Barbara Kingsolver wrote about it in her book, Animal Vegetable Miracle, or something like that was the title of it, about eating locally for a year and what it takes and what you have to let go of. And but it's not going to that level that we need to move. We just need to move much more vigorously towards strengthening agriculture, strengthening food, strengthening our networks together, starting to develop renewable energy sources, starting to live smart with the way the world is now, and not expecting the fast, the big return, the quick, but to really just slow down and be more mindful, more connected to place, more connected with each other, and more able to really discern things of value and quality. So, but part of that, and there's been a very important fair trade movement, which I think most people are familiar with now, in the world, and that is changing the relationships of the dynamics of food traveling internationally. So we're now able to get products like bananas or coffee or chocolate or other things from the tropics, which used to be based upon exploitation, and now are systems which are fair to the farmers there and are often grown organically or more sustainably, so that there's integrity now in being able to travel and to purchase products from outside of New England, because orange groves are, well, in short supply here.
The Slow Living Summit will be all over town. Our main speakers are going to be at the Latches Theater. Our breakout sessions where there's smaller groups will be at the Marlborough Grad Center, and Marlborough Grad Center is a huge partner, and so is World Learning. We thank them so much for being partners with us, as well as Green Mountain Roasters, and there is a new sponsor, Crop Vodka and Crop Gin. A wonderful sponsor, and it's very new to Vermont, and it's organic.
You do wonderful things with potatoes nowadays.
An organic trade association, and really, people should go and see on our Slow Living Summit website, which is www.strollingoftheheifers.com. You can register, you can check out the sponsors, you can read more about all the amazing speakers like Gary Hirschberg, Bill McKibben, and many, many others. And we will also be at the River Garden and really tie in our wonderful, wonderful town of Brattleboro. And there are very few places that can put on what we can because of our incredible, picturesque, and incredible town. So again, anyone who's interested in the Slow Living Summit, go to the website, www.strollingoftheheifers.com.
I'm glad you brought up the word picturesque, because that's one of the great byproducts of having a region that has agriculture in its heritage and still has it running through its backbone. The fact that you can't buy beauty like this, or maybe people have and turned it into shopping malls. But this brings up the fact that the tour, the Heifer, is coming up along with Heifer Weekend, and Dee Dee Cummings, one of the preeminent area bicyclists who really reminded us just what we have here. So you've got a bicycle tour happening on Stroll Weekend as well?
We do. Thank you. I don't know if my reputation precedes me, but I have been riding my bike to work. I usually ride from April 1st until December 1st. That's my goal. And there are a number of us in the area. Alice Chark, who's a French teacher at Brattleboro High School, she's a real champion for the bicyclists here. And there are a number of commuters. Hannah Thurber and I commute in together from West Brattleboro. And she's one of the Thurbers from the Lilac Ridge Farm family. So we have a great time in the morning. It's a way to slow down, as Phil suggested.
It's slow mode.
Slow mode. And we like to say pedal power, zero emission vehicle. And you can set, goals for yourself. So what we're doing, and I want to show you a picture of Bessie on the bike, as Carrie Walker, who works with us on our committee, calls her. But this year we have a brand new event, and it's really Orly's idea. But I was working with an international organization started by Bill McKibben, and I was one of the action leaders for the 350.org worldwide environmental action last year. It was on 10-10-10. And I, in October, on the 10th, I organized a bike ride in Guilford. And it was a last-minute thing, and we had, a few dozen riders, and we had a wonderful time, and we did a loop. And it was a farm-to-farm loop. So this is the genesis of our first annual Tour to Heifer, and we hope it will happen every year. We have we have something for everyone in the whole family, and the events are held at the Gaines Farm on Route 5 in Guilford, and also the Franklin Farm at the intersection of Weatherhead Hollow Road and the Keats Brook Road in Guilford also, and Lilac Ridge Farm in West Brattleboro. And then we're going to ride all around to the different farms, and there are different rides. A 6-mile ride, we have a 16-mile ride, and we also have a challenging 60-mile ride, and we have a walk that people can do. If they're there supporting riders, we have a 3 to 4 mile walk in there. And last but not least, we have an afternoon mountain bike excursion from the Franklin Farm up to and around the Sweet Pond area, which many people have read about in the news lately because it was drained by the state. So it'll bring awareness to saving the Sweet Pond.
Now, a couple of things. Riders will be making a contribution, be able to ride, and they can also raise money both for the stroll and for different organizations.
Yes. The Stroll's Farm Food Giving Fund that Orly mentioned earlier will be the recipient of. You can just ride for the fund and raise money for all the great things that the Stroll does. But you can also partner and raise 50% of your funds can go to a charity of your choice. So far, we have Bonnievale Environmental Education Center, the Insight Photography Project signed. We have a lot of area nonprofits and national nonprofits signed up to be, fundraising for it. So it's a very exciting way, and it's an easy way to raise money for your organization. You just need one rider, and then you can sponsor that rider, and you go to our website, strollingoftheheifers.com, but, we have an events section on the left. Click on it. It'll take you to the Tour de Heifer, and then you can register, or you can just go donate. You can view all of our fundraisers. We use a wonderful organization called First Giving. They also do the Boston Marathon. So you just go into our link to our site, and
it's a ride. It's not a race. I'm going to participate, but I can't race. I'm just riding, or maybe just walking. But the reason for the 50-50 is that the economy right now is, as we all know, not doing well, and the first people to really suffer are the nonprofits. So this is our way, just like we are, as a community, are supporting our local farmers, we're also supporting our local nonprofits. And the nonprofits cannot do what we do, and they don't have the infrastructure for this. So this is our way of asking all the nonprofits and people to help. We all need it, so hopefully everybody will come out and ride and walk, and we're also going to have a wonderful lunch that Organic Valley is doing for us, and Tristan Tolino is the caterer, and we'll have music and traditional Strolling of the Heifer fun. So it's a real fun family event for everyone to come out to.
Now, Stroll Weekend would not be Stroll Weekend without the wacky. So I bring you Jeff Newton. You have both a sandwich competition and an attempt to get into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. 8 months ago or so, somebody came up with the idea of doing something big for our 10th anniversary of the Stroll. And I probably was Orly that threw it out there, like, why don't we break a Guinness record?
Gosh, what's bigger than the Strolling of the Heifers?
So I said, well, that sounds like a nice thing to do. And I'll remember not to say that again around Orly, because it's turned into be a second job. But no, we are not going to attempt to break a Guinness record. We are going to break a Guinness record for the world's largest smoothie. And we are making a traditional, I guess it's going to be traditional, Vermont smoothie. We're using maple syrup, apple cider syrup, and apples, along with Commonwealth Dairy's yogurt, the new dairy facility here in town, a yogurt facility, and milk. And to the tune of, well, we didn't want to just break the old record that the Canadian Dairy Board set at 260 gallons. We're going to crush it at somewhere around 350 gallons. And it was real easy to make that assumption a while ago, and the logistics of doing it is different. But we are going to do it in the Vermont way. 'Cause with the Guinness record, you have to take a traditional recipe and scale it up and still make it. You can't just make 5-gallon pails of something and dump it into a big container and say, there it is.
So if I were to show up and ask for a couple of gallons to go, you could probably handle it.
We could probably handle it. You know, the idea is that everybody will come in and support the stroll and give us a couple of bucks for a cup of our smoothie that we're making.
Which is going to our Farm Food Giving Fund.
Yep.
And it's also our way of celebrating the dairy industry and welcoming Commonwealth Dairy with their Green Mountain Creamery yogurt. This is really, people are really going to get a chance to taste this yogurt. And of course, Coombs Farm is helping us with all the maple syrup, and it's also to celebrate the maple industry and all the orchardists, and we're getting the apples from.
We're going to get the apples from Green Mountain Orchards.
You're going to buy them or just hop over the fence?
We're just going to hop over the fence.
This is a real community effort. I mean, the particular sponsors for this are all donating everything for it.
Everything's been donated. We wanted to do this as a community effort and have the stroll be the one that got the credit for it.
And as part of this, give me the rundown of the sandwich competition in 2 minutes or less.
Okay. Sandwich competition this year is going to be an open category.
And that's Friday night.
Friday night at the River Garden. You can register online at thestrollingoфtheheifers.com. And it's going to be whatever the best New England sandwich is that you can figure out. And bring it in, have it judged, and see where you stand. And as an addition to that,
this is hot off the press, everybody.
Hot off the press is the winner is going to get an all-expense-paid trip to Sydney, Australia, to compete in the international sandwich competition.
1 week, 5-star hotel. And it is all paid by the Sandwich Ship International Competition. They sought us out. They found us actually through Google, found us, and have been talking to us all last week. And so they're going to pay for the winner to compete in the World Championship in October in Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
And you know, in our event, in the Tour de Heifer, the person who is, or the group, the organization that raises the most money, there are lots of incentive prizes here, and our grand prize is a weekend for two with all the trimmings, fall foliage weekend at the Meadowlark Inn here in Brattleboro, including breakfast and everything. And so that's a real incentive. And we're also encouraging people to register before May 15th for the Tour de Heifer, either any of the rides or the walk or the mountain bike ride, and you can get free bike lights from the West Hill shop, so that's a great thing to get people to sign up for. And you can also sign up to ride if you're not fundraising. We're also encouraging people to sign up and ride and really experience the benefits of riding your bike and really seeing the beauty of the Vermont countryside, which we're excited about.
Well, as you can tell, this is just the beginning. We have another half hour of strolling to go, but I think we ought to just raise a bell to the strolling of the Heifers. More strolling coming up. Kind of like pledge break in the barnyard. The strolling of the Heifers preview returns, and also returning with me. Oh, by the way, these ladies I want to show up. These represent the trophies to be given away for various events during Strolling of the Heifers weekend. And now the heifers can all go where heifers go.
To the barn.
Back
Be
to the
careful
barn.
where you walk. Coming back with us, Orly Munzing, the Strolling of the Heifers founder, dairy godmother and entertainer extraordinaire Amelia Struthers.
Thank you. Hi,
Oh,
Tim.
you're so welcome. And Carrie Walker, who has been a real find for this organization. She has put together the Green Expo this year, and we really appreciate you doing that. So I want to begin this segment with Friday night, because during Gallery Walk, there's going to be plenty of entertainment in addition to the sandwich competition, the Guinness World Record attempt, but mostly you'll see brightly dressed people playing, entertaining, and playing with your senses. So now, you've done a great job with that in the past. No doubt you'll do that again this year.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I just want you to visualize with me for a moment, Tim. It's a beautiful late spring night, warm, and you're ready to do something exciting. The excitement is in the air, and you walk down towards Main Street, right on the corner of High and Main, and suddenly you turn the corner and there is a party going on. And it is a great one, and you're so glad you're there. You got your cell phone, you're taking pictures, telling everyone to come on down and not miss it, because what you'll see are food vendors, and you will see entertainers, you will see magicians, hula hoopers, Tony Duncan, world-class champion juggler, entertainer. You will see, you'll hear music. So it is something for all the senses.
You know, I've come up with a new idea about a website
Yes.
that would just show videos of Strolling of the Heifers events.
Mm-hmm.
I'd call it MooTube.
That's
Saving
great.
that one, huh?
And that's
Yeah.
not any bull either, I can tell. I
Yeah.
can tell.
I mean, I think we could have some fun with that. You know, you are very well tapped into the musical community.
Mm-hmm.
You get entertainers, musicians all together. How eager are they to be a part of a party, which Brattleboro, of course, knows how to throw?
Well, they make it very easy for me. I hardly have to do anything but turn on my computer, and there are all these requests to entertain us. And so I'm actually very lucky. I get to interact with many very talented people who are just dying to be a part of this event.
And the entertainers register on our website, strollingoфtheheifers.com, and there's a registration for entertainers. So, you know, we're very excited to have such a variety.
We have world-renowned Jay Manquita coming to perform with Peter Siegel from Guilford, who is very well known and a very talented musician, so they'll be entertaining. We're going to have some Bhangra dancing happening. Erin Maley O'Keefe with Circus Minimus is going to be there, and she has gotten crowds well over 100, 200 people all doing Bhangra dancing together, which will be great. And I mentioned already Tony Duncan. We also will have Andrew Pennard returning, a fabulous magician who will be entertaining people and amazing them as well. And lots of things for kids. We have Happy Dan the Music Man coming with his PlayStation, and Shenandoah Sluter coming with her hula hoops, and the Dairy Godmother will be there in disguise. Absolutely.
I wonder who she is.
I can't. I do get in touch with her though. You know, you have the moo, and there's some that she appears.
So, it's like the milk channeling.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
Okay.
of course, the dairy goddaughter is also there.
The Dairy Princess, yes, absolutely. So there'll be more surprises too, because I'm not done yet designing this thing. I think there's always room to bring somebody else in a little corner somewhere. We have got some great popular food returning. Blueberry House will be there, and I just love it. I love the night. I think it's the time when a lot of the locals are just coming out and having a great time, as well as all the people we draw in from literally all around the world. It's a great party.
And it's all happening on Main Street, and the town of Brattleboro closes the central part of Main Street for the Friday night event.
And this is June 3rd.
Just like our cows who are walking on the street, everybody gets to be on the street, which is so unusual.
Right. So this is another important point. We all keep getting questions about how can I be a part of the event, how can I be a part of the event, and there are opportunities on Friday night for people who would like to win a chance to be in the parade itself the next day on June 4th. So if you come in costume on Friday night, Tim, even you.
The dairy godmother is going to be there.
Yes, and I will give out
The
tickets.
dairy godmother, you mean?
The dairy godmother will be there
me.
giving out tickets
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry, thank you. Whew, I feel a little sheepish.
Will Clark Kent actually be there too?
Yes, I think so. Anyhow, so come in costume, please, and be chosen as one of the lucky few who get to actually win a spot to walk in the parade on Saturday, the next day.
So this will be a milk-off then?
Yeah, something like that.
Instead of a runoff, a milk-off.
And also Friday night, we talked about this before, but at the River Garden, and the River Garden part of BABB that are partners of Strolling of the Heifers, we're going to have the Ultimate New England Sandwich Competition and lots of vendors showcasing and sampling cheese and bread and meats and anything that goes in a sandwich will be sampled also at the River Garden. So there's a lot planned for Friday night.
Sounds like it.
And it all starts at 5:30. It goes till 8:30. It looks like we're also going to have the evening wrap up with a little New Orleans brass band music, as we did last year, to get everyone dancing and singing in the streets. So
The other piece that folks should know is Strolling of the Heifers is also trying to honor the wonderful artists that we have in the community. So at the Works, the new bagel shop on Main Street, we're going to have a farm art exhibit. So I invite everybody to go into the Works and see our farm art exhibit. And, they can enjoy it and also buy the art, which is very reasonable for such talented works of art.
So that brings on Saturday and the centerpiece of what this event has become, the Strolling of the Heifers. What exactly is the stroll? What was it envisioned to be, and how has it grown?
Well, the Strolling of the Heifer Parade is basically the jewel of the whole event, and it's really a way to celebrate and recognize all of agriculture in Vermont. Of course, the heifers are our icons, and the whole parade and the event is to capture people's imagination and have them really understand and feel how important it is to celebrate and support the farmers. So we start out with the heifers, which is a parody on Running of the Bulls. Heifers, for those watching and don't know, they're baby cows. And once they become a cow, they have given birth to a heifer. So the heifers are females, and women are very strong and know how to run things, and so they're running the parade, and they're the stars, and they start the parade. And this is their 10th year, so they're very excited, and I hear there are very special ones coming. And it's very special because we're losing our dairy industry in Vermont, and we need to work really hard at keeping it, because these heifers, let's face it, represent what Vermont is all about and provides us with our landscape. So this fabulous parade that we have, and Rick Chapin, unfortunately he can't be here, is the parade master, has put up an amazing lineup of the heifers, of course. We have donkeys, we have chickens, we have alpacas, we have mules, horses. I mean, we can keep going on. It's like Noah's Ark. And of course, lots of school children and school bands, tractors, you name it, it's in there. But it's a la Brattleboro style. It's nothing like you've ever seen before.
How do you lead chickens up Main Street? That must have cost a lot of scratch.
These are organic chickens. They're from Pete and Jerry's eggs. And actually, after the parade, one can walk over to the Commons and have a Pete and Jerry's breakfast, or even before the parade.
Well, so just never cease to amaze me. And of course, this is the event that probably puts 50,000 people on Main Street in Brattleboro on a Saturday morning.
That's right. And I have to say, I've already been talking to a few hotels in town, and they're booked. So, in fact, I had a hotel in Keene call me and ask me if it was okay if they would place Strolling of the Heifers on their site because they have some people asking for rooms over there. So it's very exciting. I think we're, through the Strolling of the Heifers, putting Brattleboro once again on the map. So,
A couple of do's and don'ts. Obviously, if you have a dog, leave your dog at home.
absolutely. We all love dogs. We all have dogs, but this is not a place for dogs. You know, dogs, animals are unpredictable, and they can bark or they can get away from their master. All kinds of things can happen, and they can spook the animals, and we have a lot of large animals and a great amount of animals in the parade. So we just want everybody to be safe, and it's also very crowded, and it would be very helpful if you did not bring your wonderful dog with you.
Great idea. Maybe we can work on the strolling of the dogs for a different weekend.
That's a
next
different
year.
weekend without large animals. I mean, some of these animals, and we have, you know, oxens and all kinds of animals. You don't want one of these to get spooked and be loose and running within the crowd. That would not be a good thing.
No, it would not. So after the stroll itself, and we're just going to kind of let this all roll into one because people stroll to both the Brattleboro Common and to the Brattleboro Retreat grounds.
That's right.
Now-
And it's the Green Expo.
Live Green Expo.
Live
Live
Green
Green
Expo.
Expo.
Thank you very much.
So how does one live green, and what should I be looking to bring besides my green?
That's a good, please bring your green.
Well, the Live Green Expo is kind of what we're all about, which is about local and about sustainability, and kind of encompasses everything, and that's why we decided to call the whole event the Live Green Expo rather than just the Green Expo and the Dairy Fest. Now we're all one.
Nice. So there'll be events both on the Common and at the retreat.
That's right.
Will one area specialize in something that the other does not?
Yes, and the Common is where you'll find a lot of green vendors. You will find all the animals from the parade down at the Putney Road end.
On the Commons.
On the Common. You will find a new this year, a craft village with some fine New England crafts. And also new this year is a big forestry exhibit, since forestry is also part of agriculture and part of our working landscape. And there's a lot of different forestry organizations who will be all under one tent and giving lots of information. They will actually be a forwarder, which is the thing, you know, with the claw that picks up logs, will be there, and kids can climb up and sit on it. There'll be the mobile sugar house, which is an exhibit of sugaring, and food, of course, and music,
And did you talk about the cheese?
all on the Common.
Oh, on the Common, right.
On the Common. You know, I'm glad you brought up logging because many a farmer has needed to do a little bit of everything to make ends meet. You might, on a cold winter's night when all you can do is sit inside, work on some craft projects that maybe you could sell at the fair, or maybe in the spring you've got maple trees out there, you decide to sugar. You log on one of those days when you're not doing anything on the farm, you sell the logs, or you maybe use that to build your next barn. You farm, you might sell a little hay, you might sell a little milk, maybe you plant a vegetable garden, sell a few of those, but you do anything possible to make ends meet. And that makes the farmer the most sustainable operator that they've had out there. And maybe it's time to go back to the future.
And we also want to sustain our forests, and there's ways to manage the forest so that we don't totally lose it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the educational part that will happen this weekend, or that weekend.
I actually had, when I was a small child, done some logging with my dad, and instead of using one of those 8-wheeled claw thingies, I had a horse that stopped and started on voice commands. So yes, sustainable can happen.
That's right. Before we move down to
talk
where the
about
retreat grounds are, and by the way, the Brattleboro Retreat is a wonderful partner and opens up their campus so Brattleboro can come and enjoy it.
When the farm was open, one of the longest running dairy farms in this community.
That's right. That's right. But before we go down there, I just want to talk about, on the Commons also, is our Miss Vermouth contest, where all the 4-H club members who are parading with their heifer in the parade will showcase their heifer. You know, it takes them about 3 months to train each heifer to be in the parade. They have to teach them how to actually walk on road and pay attention to them. They give them commands. I mean, they really train them. And then, so on the Common, we have them all together, and really, it is a must to see all these kids with their heifers, and they're all close together, and we give sort of tongue-in-cheek awards for the best dress, because they all come with beautiful flowers, and they really are getting into accessorizing their heifer, and best personality and so forth.
Wait a minute. Hopefully no leather handbags.
Very good, Tim. After the Miss Vermouth contest, we have, for the 10th year, our celebrity milking contest. And, of course, Senator Sanders, this will be his 10th year participating. He's never missed a celebrity milking contest, and he's never missed a parade. We love Senator Sanders.
He's never won either, has he?
And he's never won, but maybe this year he'll win. He's been practicing. He's had 9 years to practice.
They didn't have many cows in Brooklyn when he grew up.
That's right.
So there's an incredible group that will be competing in the celebrity milking contest and joining Bernie Sanders. And we're very excited and hope that people come right after the parade to the green area at the Commons and watch the Miss Vermouth and the celebrity milking contest. And by the way, UVM does a really wonderful job in emceeing all this, so we're excited to have them as a partner as well.
So it sounds like you'll have Rick Levitra back again.
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Very, very bright
Oh, and
man.
also at the parade, you know, we should say that our wonderful host tonight, Tim and Fish, will be the hosts of the parade, and Rick Levitra also will be there.
Now, I want equal time when it's time for the strolling of the lobsters.
Yeah.
But enough about me. Green Expo, Green Living Expo also
Live
has...
Green Expo.
Live Green
You'll
Expo
get it.
has a lot of events at the Brattleboro Retreat, as well as, I understand, some more entertainment.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't stop there. If you would like to take a lot of time, our expo is extended this year. So it's important for people to know that we're not wrapping up at 3 o'clock this year as we have in the past. We're going to extend our hours till 5 o'clock as a special way to celebrate this 10th year. So what I can talk about for down on the Common, well, even pre-parade, come early. There'll be musicians at all different places along the parade route. The Dairy Godmother will be showing up to share her dairy dust, etc., and entertain people before the parade starts.
Dairy dust, that's dried something. Okay.
Yes, it's
Okay,
a secret
all right.
ingredient. She collects it all year. Yeah, so
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
So there's a lot of entertainment, and very briefly I can address the location where the Dairy Godmother will be at the family entertainment tent. We are celebrating so many local talents this year. We have New England Youth Theater involved, Jane Baker and a group of kids that she has working on comedy improv. We have the New England Center for Circus Arts coming back. They're a big hit every year, a nice place to sit in the shade and watch some trapeze work. And we have Andrew Bernard coming back to do some more magic, and we have a group from Lumens coming, some kids coming to do some dancing. And we're having a fashion show too.
The fashion show is not certain whether it'll be on the Common or on the retreat grounds, but that will be Alfred, who will be in the parade along with some girls from the Boys and Girls Club. They'll be doing a fashion show with a green fashion show with clothing from Twice Upon a Time.
Right.
So that's not to be missed.
So that's what I know is happening. There's a whole lot more that is yet to be that'll be thrown in there. And as
Well,
I
we're keeping
said,
things as surprises, too.
yeah, as surprises. So very important to know, though, you don't, get ready to leave at 2:30, 3 o'clock. You have to stay on. And then on the family stage, Jay Cook at 2 o'clock will be starting a musical event that will last right up until the end when we go. And our vendors are staying for the afternoon as well, so you'll be able to eat food and enjoy yourself. But there's more happening.
And just while we're on to music, because our music, the co-coordinator of entertainment couldn't be here, but we wanted to stress local this year, and so a lot of our music is local musicians. I think probably like
Of course.
90%, and a lot, just about all of them are young people, all the way from 6th graders up through high school kids of both Brattleboro and Leland and Gray. And we all know there's some incredible talent, and some teenage bands and 20-something bands, and all ending at 3, or not, I don't even know if it ends, but at 3 o'clock there'll be the main event of Venibo and the 12-piece band playing right down on the Common. And if there are probably some local people who don't like crowds, and this is why some of us live in Vermont, and they might think, well, that's the day to avoid the crowd. And I would like to invite those people to come in later in the day, and or even if you went to the parade and your kids are tired, take them home, give them a nap, but come back, because we'll be there, and it will be just a beautiful scene going on late in the afternoon. So.
And also, at the retreat grounds, and again, the partner is the Bravo Retreat, we're having our first annual Farm Food Film Festival. And this is very exciting. It's going to happen. We built a huge marquee, which will be the entrance, and it will take place in the retreat conference room. And we've been having entries all year round. And the judges are local film producers, and I've just spoken to them, and the entries are amazing. They are totally pleasantly surprised to see how good they are, and we'll be showing them continuously at the Strolling of the Heifers Green Expo, Live Green Expo, and people can go in, see a little bit, go out, and it's also a nice place to rest and so forth. And the winners, there will be like a $500, $300, and a $200 prize for the film winners. And we're very excited, and we're hoping that this will turn into its own event. Again, in the vein of promoting and celebrating our local farmers.
So the Heifers go Hollywood.
And the Heifers are in Hollywood.
Will you need to buy them dark glasses? Will they need agents and all that?
They already have some.
How do you get 10% of hay? To work on that.
We'll have to work on that. So that's very exciting about our Farm Film Festival. And again, people can find out more information about that. There's so much happening on our website, strollingoftheheifers.com. But Carrie, we have that wonderful cheese village.
Well, yes, if you've ever been to the Stroll, you've noticed the cheese pavilion, but it's expanded this year to the cheese village.
Yeah, there were a couple of rats that wanted to carpool with me last year. Looking for the cheese village.
Well, right in the center of the cheese village will be a tent, and the Twin Valley Junior Iron Chefs, who have just won an award, a state award, I believe,
Yes.
will be there from 11 until there aren't any more people there. And Lonnie Page has organized, I think he has like half the kids in the school are in this program. And so he has enough teams for the whole day doing demos and how to cook with cheese, of course.
Oh.
How to eat cheese. There's a lot of cheese eating.
There's a lot of, that's on the outside, but these demos he's actually designing some dishes with certain kinds of cheese, so, and naming them after that cheese. So that will be really good. So on the outside there will be cheese tasting with a lot of different the actual cheesemakers coming from Vermont, from New Hampshire, from Massachusetts, and you can taste goat cheese or any kind of cheese maybe that you've never tried.
And from New York as well.
Yeah.
And the Dairy Godmother does make many appearances there. and she's been known to take the cheese trays and go down the line and help people, have a little taste while they're waiting.
Very nice.
So the cheese pavilion has grown into this huge cheese village with lots of different things happening. And again, this is our way of once again promoting the dairy industry. And so down there's going to be again the Guinness World Book of Record largest smoothie. There's a cheese village. There's all kinds of rides.
There's a funny thing, like a dunking machine or something. Have you ever been involved with that?
Yeah, as long as I'm not being dipped in a vat of yogurt.
It's probably going to be big enough that we could do it.
Really?
And if you want to join in the fun ahead of time, we do have a Facebook page too. So people should find us on Facebook. The Dairy Godmother is on Facebook as well. There's lots of ways to interact with us right now up to the event.
Yeah, and there's also kids rides, and we have really special kinds of rides for kids this year.
The Gaines Farm has the most wonderful cow train. And I was just down in the rain with Jackie Gaines figuring out the route for it. And oh my gosh, that's going to be great. There are the inflatable fun rides that are usually there.
Climbing wall.
The climbing wall.
And so many other things.
It's a good thing we're staying there till 5.
And
because
food.
there's so
Oh my
much
gosh,
to do.
so much food.
So,
Good food this year.
the bottom line.
And we have recycling.
Oh, good.
Lots of recycling. Everybody needs to mind that. We have recycling stations that if you don't know much about recycling, we have the Boy Scouts standing next to it, educating the public on where each piece of trash needs to be
Farmers
placed.
are excellent recyclers, I'll have you know.
Yeah?
Have to be, because if you don't do something with it yourself, you have to find somebody to pay them to actually do it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Tim, it's so great every year to have you host us and be a part of the event. We want to celebrate you on this 10th year anniversary as well. And just want to give you a little good advice from the Dairy Godmother. Watch where you walk in when you know the chips are down.
Oh, yes. One of the big things I learned early on in agriculture and FFA is to be very careful when you walk behind the little house on the prairie. So again, Stroll Weekend, first weekend in June in Brattleboro. What would this community be without the strolling of the Heifers? What would our area farmers be without the attention you've brought on them? And frankly, we wouldn't be having as much fun. We wouldn't be able to be as successful as we all are. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to the community of Brattleboro.
All right, we'll see you at the 10th annual Get 'em High Strolling of the Heifers. This is Tim Johnson. Thank you for joining us.